Hi Dipro, welcome on YourPedia.
Hello, sir. Nice to be here once
Okay,
again.
okay, and Dipro, this is my second interaction with you. My first interaction was when
Yes.
you joined, US direct PhD in US University, and now
Mm-hmm.
you have joined direct PhD in NUS, very very prestigious university in Singapore. And today I would like to interact with you and to know more about NUS and the program direct PhD in which you are doing your direct PhD, that course, and your journey also. I would like to know. And Dipro, you know
Mm-hmm.
that there are so many capable
Mm-hmm.
you know, candidates like you. You are from Jadavpur University, and there are so many capable candidates who have very good academic and professional background, and they deserve to be in direct PhD courses, fully funded courses. So my interaction with you will be in that
Mm-hmm.
direction. So first I start again with your background. So please tell my viewers about you, from which part of India you are, and your graduation. When did you do that? And after that, what were you doing? And then your, selections into these two universities.
Okay. So, like I was born in Kolkata. I did some part of my schooling over there, and some part my father was based in Jamshedpur for a while, but mostly in Kolkata. So I gave my JEE exams from there, and then I got into Jadavpur University. I did my mechanical engineering over there, and after completing my BE, so we were given a BE degree, not a BTech degree. So after completing a BE in 2024, I went to work for a energy company. It's a US company, but it was in Delhi, their Indian
Okay.
office. So I
Mhm.
worked there for about a year and a half, and then I thought that like I think it's better to explore PhD opportunities because of a couple of reasons. Mainly, I wanted to delve more into academia and understand a little more in depth of what I was applying as an engineer. And
Mhm.
secondly, I also like did not just enjoy the business aspect of it, that just like making money just like that without really much thought process going on. So that's why I wanted to go into that. So I went to the US. I began my PhD at the University of South Florida. So I had a wonderful experience over there. Then I had some family issues, which is why I wanted to come closer to home. Uh, so like luckily it worked out for me. So I got an opportunity at NUS.
Mhm. Mhm.
So there was a very good time. So after a semester, I left the US and I transferred to NUS to restart my PhD over there.
Mhm. Okay. So Dipro, can you tell about US universities where you were doing your PhD? Which university was it?
Yeah, so I think there's a video up on your PDS channel,
Yes, yes,
like the first
yes,
interaction we did. So that was mostly on
yes.
that. So that was
Okay,
before I went to the US. It was University of South Florida. So
okay.
so
Mm,
I only have good things to say about it. So I had a very good professor. I worked like on a topic that I really liked, and it was a very nice experience, both
okay,
in terms of living as well as in terms of like doing my PhD so academically. So
okay,
it was a great time there. Yeah.
okay. So now from US to Singapore, NUS, though we will be talking
Yeah.
about university later on, but as a
Mhm.
country, what difference do you find coming from such a big, huge country to very small country?
Yeah. Yeah. So, like one thing that Singapore has, it is smaller than US, just like you said. So it is a very safe country. Like you see a lot of news in that there
Yes.
might be shootings or something
Mm,
happened in the US. So you'll see nothing like that in Singapore. So it's a very
mm,
safe country. There is a lot of surveillance on like the cameras everywhere. So the government
mm,
has surveillance on for
mm,
safety and safety purposes of its people.
mm. Okay.
So it
Mm,
has that. So So I would say that it is safe. It is also a little boring because it's a very small country, so there's not a lot of places you can go to. Like you have to plan trips if you want to go to places. So Singapore is located centrally, so you can book flights
mm,
to go to Indonesia or Malaysia
mm,
or Philippines or different places. But
mm,
in the US, it was much easier to go to different places because you could just hop into a car of a friend and like, let's go to Disneyland today, let's go to Busch Gardens today. So you could do that. But over here, you have to plan your trip, and it's not there's friction to go to different places. But
mm,
you can go. So it's a relatively, like, not relatively, it's a much small country. So I was born in Kolkata, I grew up in Kolkata, so it's the size of Kolkata only. That's the entire country.
mm,
It's a city country. It's got no states or
mm,
any
mm,
places. So
mm,
but it's a very safe country. Like parents,
mm.
if they want
Okay.
to send their children
Mm,
over here, they can send it without
okay.
worrying too much.
Mm. And Dipro, NUS is a world rank 7 or 8 university, if I'm not wrong. So, what makes it that high ranked university? So, please introduce my viewers about NUS also, whatever your experience of NUS is.
Yes, so NUS overall, it's ranked number 8 in terms of the university. My department, which is mechanical, it is ranked 3 in the world. So
Oh,
first is MIT, second is Stanford, third is NUS, fourth is Harvard. So
mm,
the I think, like, a major, like, part of it being ranked so high, that, like, if someone studies how QS rankings are done, it is the
mm,
research output of the university. So like, what quality of journals does the, like, university publish in? So a lot of professors, there are many professors over here. So collectively, what are the number of publications is a factor, but it's so in India, number of publications is the almost the only factor, but here number of publications is one of the factors. A
mm,
huge emphasis is put into the quality of publications. So my advisor
okay.
over here is very bullish that you
Mm,
don't have to make a lot of publications. In your PhD, if
mm,
you make one publication at the end of your PhD, but it goes into a journal like a Nature or a Science,
mm,
it's like good enough. I don't want
okay.
three or four, like, incremental level research. I just want something that has not been done, something that gets other scientists across the world thinking in a different way. So it's a
Okay.
lot of stress because it's not easy to do that kind of work. So
Mm,
like, that's the difference I would say.
mm,
There's not much pressure to publish a lot, but as you get towards the end of your PhD, there'll be the pressure to publish something astronomical.
mm. Okay. So how many months now you are there in NUS as of now? Since how many months?
Close to 4 months. Close to
Close to
four
four
months.
months.
I arrived here on January 7th, so May 7th will
Mm.
be 4 months.
Okay. So you reside within the campus or you reside outside the campus? How is it?
I I had the opportunity to reside on campus, but so housing is a major issue in Singapore because it's a very population dense country, and prices are high. It's also, I think, if you go to Mercer, there's a website, like, they collate all the cost of living of different places. It's a very high cost of living place as well. So it's more expensive than
Mm,
any place in the entire of US. It's more expensive than New York. It's more
mm,
expensive than San Francisco. So a lot of people don't realize that unless they arrive over here. It's a very expensive place to live in. I'm
mm.
living outside campus, and I'll continue
Okay.
to live outside campus, like, for.
Mm, mm. Okay. And typically, as a research scholar, as a PhD scholar, what is the your schedule or timeline? How do you manage the work and how is good? I mean, weekends pay you go to your lab or what time you go to the lab and how it all goes? Some glimpse of that.
Yeah, so this very much differs from lab to lab because, like, this is completely dependent on who the professor is. So
Okay.
like, I
Mm,
know, like, it's a lab culture specifically. It's not a
mm,
university culture. So one PI might expect different things, other PI might expect different things.
mm,
My particular PI is very hands off. There is no, like, policies or restrictions that you have to be here at that time of the day or on that time of the day. There is nothing like that. So I've built my own schedule. I usually like to work a little late in the night. So I generally go to my lab around 1:30 to in the afternoon, and I stay till about 9:30, 10, and leave around that time.
right.
So
Mm,
yeah, you have that flexibility. There are people who come in around 7:30 in the morning and leave at 4. So different kinds of people are there. It's a big lab,
Okay.
so like there is nothing
Mm,
much in terms of the advisor that you have to be here at this time. So, but it
okay.
might be
Nothing.
the case that if you join another lab, the policy
Mm,
might be different.
mm. So what is the objective, Dipro, of typical research scholar? Like, what is in the mind? Like, what is in your mind now? It's a 4 months, and how much duration a PhD is for, and when you complete it, what you want to do? Now, what are those things going on?
Yeah. So personally for me, I want to go into academia. Like that's the target. It might change down the road, but people move with one target in mind. So like
Yes.
right now, it is academia for me. So by the end of in any way, you're supposed to submit your thesis by your 46th month. So 48 months
Mm,
means 4 years. 46th month, by the end of your 46th month, your thesis should be submitted because then 2 months like are given to the reviewers
mm,
to go back and forth, like if there are any changes or something, and
mm,
generally it has to be finalized by the 48th month. Then you can come and
mm,
defend later, like after 4 years, like that's not a worry.
mm,
But you're
mm.
supposed to finish within 4 years, so there's a
Okay.
deadline on that. And
Mm,
like generally, like people try and it's not as it's not like the US system where the PhD just goes on. Like I've seen labs in the US where like the PhD can go on even till 8, 9, 10 years. So that's like seems a little crazy to me. Like
mm,
because generally in some labs what happens is it's a very like bad thing that happens. So
mm,
not all labs, very few labs, like maybe
mm,
2 to 3% of labs. So
okay.
a late career PhD student who is in their fourth year and fifth year, so
Mm,
they are very skilled students. So
mm,
they know what to do. Like they can produce work relatively fast. So
mm,
if you are skilled at that point, then you should be given your PhD and you should be paid higher as a postdoc or maybe as an assistant professor at that
mm,
point, ideally.
mm,
But
mm,
it's much more economical for the professors to like keep on paying them a low stipend as a PhD student and get output from you by delaying your PhD a little bit. It happens in India a lot. It can also happen a little in the US as well because there is no safeguard against that. But
okay.
here it's not like that. Like the university, like even the advisor is answerable to the university if the PhD goes beyond 4 years. So like
Okay.
it's not just
Mm,
on the student to finish
okay.
in 4 years. The
Mm,
advisor
mm.
also has to make sure that happens.
Okay. And Dipro, now a couple of questions which students have in their mind. First question is like, uh, what should be the typical credentials? I mean, for graduates to get opportunity of postdoctorate fellowship in such universities. So how somebody can do the self-assessment that okay, I may also get direct PhD positions in
For
US or Singapore.
for
Yeah.
postdoc, you're asking for
No, no, no,
postdoc
no.
or PhD?
No, no, no. I'm saying about doctorate. I mean, direct to
Okay, okay.
PhD. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, in case of NUS, I think they are a little bit prestige driven. So, if your undergrad is like from NIRF, like good colleges like IITs or NITs, or some good state colleges like Anna, Jadavpur. I'm from Jadavpur, so maybe bit Pilani. So, I've seen people who have done their undergrads from there, a few of them. So, there is one person who's done computer science from IIT Bombay. He did not do a master's, he directly came for PhD in NUS. I know
Hmm.
someone from IIT Hyderabad, so he's my lab mate. So he also did his
Hmm.
like BTech from
Hmm.
IIT Hyderabad and directly came over here. But
Hmm.
otherwise, it is not so common. So it's not a very optimal strategy to make NUS direct PhD as one of your like main targets. You can apply
Okay.
to it as
Hmm.
a like
Hmm.
backup. Like if it happens, then very good. But like if
Hmm.
there's it's more likely
Okay.
that it doesn't happen. If you've got a
Hmm.
master's degree, then your chances go up significantly. And
Okay.
if you're from one of the good colleges in
Hmm.
India, then also
Hmm.
it goes up
Probability goes up. Hmm.
significantly.
Hmm. Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. And
But then also, I would say that it's
hmm.
little luck.
Hmm. Okay. And the second point, Dipro, is like typical funding available or scholarship which you get in these universities.
Hmm. Yeah. It's again different from the US in Singapore. So
Mm,
in US, a lot of the time the professor hires you on their grant. So the professor is
mm,
responsible to make sure that you are paid. So
mm,
that's what happens in the US, which is a good thing
mm,
about the US. In Singapore,
mm,
it's
mm,
not always the case. So you have to apply and get your own funding separately a lot of the time. So university may not offer you a research
mm,
like stipend. So
mm.
it may not. So
Okay.
like for my case, I had to apply separately and get a scholarship from the Singapore government. It's called the Singer
Mm,
Scholarship. So
mm,
that's
mm,
what pays my like covers my tuition and pays me my stipend.
mm, mm,
So like it's not the same. I had to write a research proposal, and it's
mm,
almost like applying for a mini grant. So like and that got approved. So that's why I got my stipend and everything is covered. But it may happen that
mm,
if you don't get it, they offer you an unpaid PhD. So the like you have to
mm.
pay for tuition as well, and you don't get any stipend, which is not
Okay.
generally the
Mm,
case that happens in the US. So
mm,
yeah, I don't think it's a very
okay.
good deal, but
Mm,
yeah.
mm. Okay. Okay, Dipro, and my next question is related to opportunities after PhD. So if you do PhD from world renowned, world rank 8 university, and in your field third rank university in mechanical engineering, if you do PhD from here, what are the typical career opportunities? Do you need to worry for the opportunities or these will come?
No, so if the like my main worry is to get the work done correctly. Like that's the main worry. Like my PhD
Mm,
output needs to produce some good work because if that is taken care of, opportunities are not like
mm,
it's not something that I need to worry because like at least in my case and in a lot of other professors'
mm,
cases as well.
mm,
So these are people who are generally at the top of the academic ladder. So, like
mm,
every month, there are people from Harvard, Stanford coming to give a talk over here. So, they
mm,
are friends with professors. So, my professor is friends with a lot of people in those places.
mm,
So there's an entire network group formed here. So, a lot of people, like, even when I was applying for positions, I used to wonder that how do you get into an MIT or a Harvard? So, like,
mm,
lot of people dream that how do you get into those, and it's very difficult to get into those. So,
mm,
generally, the way is to go through a network because so suppose a professor at MIT, so he is getting emails from students like all over the world, like to for a
mm, mm,
position in his like lab,
mm,
like please
mm,
offer me a PhD. So
mm,
if he doesn't know you, he doesn't have any incentive to look into your profile, no matter how much good work you have done. But even to
mm,
understand whether the work you have done is good or not, he has to spend time reading your work, like going through what the work is about. He won't do that, like
mm,
for a
mm,
stranger he doesn't know because like
mm,
he's just bombarded with like emails
mm,
all the time. So generally what happens is suppose he knows someone in his network who is maybe at an NUS or maybe some other college and these professors have a network among them. So if
mm,
this professor at NUS recommends someone that hey like I worked with this student, you can interview him and see if he works out.
mm,
That way you can get into these places. So and this is
mm,
not just for a PhD to postdoc as well. So suppose someone does
mm,
an undergrad in NUS, they can
mm,
use this strategy to go for a PhD at an MIT. If
mm,
someone does their master's at one of these places, they can use that strategy.
mm,
It's very difficult to get into like MIT, Harvard, Stanford, like these places directly, like from an Indian college. If it's not an IIT, even NIT people don't get in. So, and even
mm,
among IITs, it's like very few, like maybe single digit percentages that people who might
mm,
get in without a network. So,
mm, mm,
if someone wants a strategy, like this is your best bet. Of course, it might
mm,
not work out even then, but this is a
mm,
good
mm,
bet to do that.
mm, mm. Okay, so that's wonderful, Dipro. I believe I have discussed with you more or less all my interaction points, and that is now you just started your PhD, Dipro, and I'll again pop up after a couple of years when you are in the middle of your PhD, and then again once you have done your PhD, that is how I do. So, any message you want to give to prospective students of NUS?
Okay, so I think it always helps if you know that a particular lab is hiring because like professors do give out LinkedIn posts a lot of the times that hey I'm recruiting students. Like my professor also did when she was hiring students. So the process is that if you email the professor cannot directly email you. The process is like that. In any big university you go to, so Stanford, MIT, it's not a professor-centric hiring. There's a committee that admits you as a cohort, and then the professor can take you once you're admitted. But what happens is, once the committee lets you in, they generally direct your profile to the professor you have expressed an interest to work with. So there's a second round of interview that happens in these places. Like in generally in
mm,
like if you apply to a University of South Florida or maybe some other university, there's just one interview. The professor takes your interview and you're done. But
okay.
here, generally, the professor, like, there you have to qualify the admission committee, then the professor has to interview you, then the department head will interview you. So there's like three
Mm,
checkpoints you have to like get
mm,
through
mm,
in order to get
mm,
in. So, but if the professor likes you, like, then it gets a little easier because he or
mm,
she may like vouch for you both at the admission committee level as well as the department level. So I
mm,
think you
mm,
can try that definitely. It's a very good option to have, especially if you are looking for alternatives to the US. Like a lot
mm,
of people may not want to go to the US at this point in time for whatever
mm,
reasons. They may consider invest like if they don't have a master's degree. Even if you have a master's degree, then you have a lot of options. Europe opens up, Australia. Australia also has direct PhD, but it's difficult to get Australian direct PhDs.
mm,
Like it's easier
mm,
with a master. So,
mm.
like, yeah, it's a good option to have. Like, you can
Okay.
consider it. And NUS also doesn't require any GATE or GRE, so that's a massive advantage.
Mm, okay, wonderful. Wonderful, Dipro. So, I think a lot of important points we have discussed today, which will be very very helpful for the
Mm-hmm,
students. And you have exposure of two now, whilst I must say, countries where you started your direct PhD.
mm-hmm.
First in US and now in US Singapore. And Dipro, I'm very sure you are going to make best use of
Mm-hmm.
this opportunity. So we wish you all the very best for your PhD journey now. And I thank you for the time you spared for this interaction.
No, thank you, sir. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Like, you played a huge journey in helping me through the entire process. So, like, thank you for all of that. It's always a pleasure to come and talk to you.
Thank you.